Welcome to Coral's Casual Patio and Fireplace, serving the villages since 1998. Come visit Coral's Casual's huge showroom in the Best Buy Plaza on US 441. Their wide variety of furniture will accommodate every lifestyle and fit every budget. Coral's Casual carries wicker, polywood, aluminum, and so much more. There's something here for everyone, and delivery is always free at Coral's Casual. Mention this ad and receive your 20% villagers discount. Come visit Coral's Casual in person or online. They look forward to seeing you soon. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. Merry Christmas. I missed the show last week because Debbie and I were on a Christmas cruise. It was a good time. It was one of those things that, if you know some of what's happened in my family over the last couple of years, we lost our son. Christmas is a very hard time for us right now. So we took John Grisham's advice and his book, Skipping Christmas. We went on a cruise. One of my favorite books, Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. It was made into a movie, Christmas with the Cranks, with Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. What a great cruise it was. Oh, let's see. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Don has a tan. No, that's a wind burn. Oh man, it was great. We went to Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. Aruba and Curacao, we went on bus tours. Bonaire, we rented a golf cart, and it was fun because the lady was trying to explain all the controls to me, and I said, I have one just like this at the house, and she's like, have a golf cart? I said, yeah, where I live, everybody has a golf cart. But it was a good time. We got a really bad wind burn, though. We spent about 3 hours driving around the island. I think we got it from one end to the other. It was a small island, but it was beautiful. We had a great time. So, wow, we got a lot of stuff coming on here. What's coming in here? So Rich A has got some really great questions. We're going to get to those in just a minute. Happy New Year. We did have a good time. It was much too long and much too short. I will tell you, I haven't stepped on the scale yet. I made myself a promise that I wasn't going to gain weight on this cruise, and I started myself on this keto diet. Yeah, where your body's supposed to go into ketosis or whatever the heck it is. And basically, for energy, it starts burning fat instead of burning carbohydrates. It's a high-fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate diet. No, it is not for me. I mean, I got to the point where the changes started happening in my body, but I can't eat that much fat. It goes against everything I have always learned about eating. I eat a low-fat diet, lots of fruits and vegetables, and all that's just contrary on this keto diet. They want you to eat high fats, moderate protein, no fruits except for strawberries, which I didn't understand. No bread. Have you ever been on a cruise and not had bread? It was an 8-day cruise. I went 7 days where I limited myself to one helping of carbs, and it was either a piece of bread with the escargot or something like that. But oh my gosh, it was terrible. Let's see. Oh, Ev wants to know, what cruise did you take? We were on the Reflection, which is a Celebrity. We've been on Celebrity. I've been on Celebrity probably about 20 times. I used to do motorcycle cruises where I worked for a travel agent, and we used Celebrity for most of our cruises, and I do that 5 or 6 times a year. Go out and take the motorcycle on the ship and lead people around on a guided tour of the islands. It was awesome. Vacation calories don't count. tell my scale the vacation calories don't count. Oh my gosh. Um, but overall, it was a great time. I will say there was one part of the cruise that really I did not enjoy, and it was, if you can guess what it is, tell you what, I've got a $25 gift card for FMK restaurants. If you can you'd be the first one to text me on what the worst part of my cruise was. I will give that to you. So my business number is right there on the screen, 352-661-6175. You can text that. Tell me what you think it is. And if you're the first person to get it right, I got a $25 FMK gift card for you. I thought about that on the way home. And, somebody who knows me will be able to figure it out. But we'll see. So we had a lot going on. Oh, before we get started, answering the questions, I will remind you, I know most of you know, I am a county commissioner and I have to be cautious of Florida sunshine laws. So if there is something that you ask me, and it's something that's happened, that's generally not a problem. If it's something that's going to come before the board and require the board to make a decision on, I am not going to discuss it other than in general terms, because this broadcast opens up a channel for, let's just call it back channel communications, and possibly with other commissioners, and I'm not going to get myself into that. We've seen where that goes when you do that, and it's not pretty. Excuse me. All right. So, muster drill. Carolyn, the muster drills are pretty much a thing of the past. You got to watch a video in your cabin, and you go down and you show them your CPAS card, and they log you in, and you're done. And it's there and gone. VS says they won't let you into the engine room to do an inspection. There was an engine room tour. We had a suite. We were in what's called the retreat, which is the I guess in the old days they would call it first class. And we had our own separate dining room, our own separate lounge. It was awesome. We've done this before on MSC. It's called the Yacht Club. Absolutely phenomenal. If you have the means to do it, by all means, I recommend it. It's the way to cruise. We didn't have 500 of our closest friends around us at dinner time. Normally there was maybe 4 or 5 tables around us that had people, and that was it. So anyway, yeah. The muster drill was a joke. East Coaster said the cabin is so small. Well, ours wasn't. We had, if you've seen the back of the ship, there's always there's always cabins on the corners. Okay, we had deck 8 aft port corner, and it was probably half again the size of a typical stateroom, and it was pretty awesome. It's very nice. Now, there was 2 poles in the middle of the room, and the question came up, what is that for? And I let slip that it was supposed to be for pole dancing, and it wasn't received well. But anyway, I've got some pictures. I don't even know if I can access them on my, let me look, hang on. Nope, they're not. Nope, they're not on my Apple account right now. Sorry. But anyway, wow. Okay, so you guys have been coming at me with a whole bunch here. Why don't you go in the engine room, do an inspection? Actually, there was a tour that was offered of the engine room. I passed. I've been on the engine room of a cruise ship. It was scary. We, on a submarine, which is what I served on in the Navy, was submarines. we took great pride in the cleanliness of our engine room. Our engine room was than cleaner than my house ever is. I'm going to regret that one, I know. But yeah, it was really dining room clean. It was we kept it spotless. When I went on the engine room cruise of a cruise ship, there was oil draining in the bilge and things like that, and it just kind of did not set well. All right, let's see. Let's see. Don Christian says, just curious on some rules. We live in Lake Denham, Veranda West, and go back, and our wall backs to 470. While we were sitting outside yesterday, a drone appeared just above our wall, maybe 25 feet. It's not illegal. Okay, you don't own the airspace above your house. Cosby versus United States, 1947 or 49. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the federal government is in control of the is in control of the airspace above your usable limit, and the usable limit is kind of iffy. Um, Basically, whatever the highest point is on your property, that's the airspace that's considered your usable area. So if you have a 50-foot windmill, at 51 foot, if somebody's above your property, you don't own the airspace. Just because you see a drone doesn't mean they're spying on you. That reminds me, I'm sitting here drinking my coffee. I saw a meme. I'll get back to the drone in just a minute. I saw a meme when I was catching up on some Facebook posting on the cruise, and it was concerning Zoom calls. And they said, be sure to always blow on the coffee, your coffee. That way nobody knows you're really drinking wine in a coffee cup. It is really coffee. I'm a coffee addict. But anyway, all right, let's see. Back to the drone. But yeah, again, just because it's a drone doesn't mean they're spying on you. Most drone pilots could really care less what's happening close in, just because that might be where they were taking off. But that's I'm getting some text messages, I think. The cruise, the end of the cruise is coming back. I think the worst. So Patty says, I think the worst thing about the end of a cruise is coming back. Nope, not even close. Coffee was terrible. Cabin was too small. Okay. Somebody who sent me the correct answer. And that was, I was missing my dogs. You're absolutely right. That was the third answer that came in. So if you sent me that one, I'm looking at it. So go ahead and send me your name and your contact information, and I'll get with you tomorrow, and we'll get you that gift card. I did miss my dogs dearly. We had a great dog sitter. She took good care of them, but I'm attached to them. What can I say? All right, great. But now, I know some people get concerned about their privacy, but it's, again, most people aren't watching with the drone. Let's see. Maybe 25 feet. Yeah, if he was at 25 feet, he was probably above the peak of your roof. So even then, you had nothing really you could do about it, Don. So Diane says you had mentioned security systems in the past. What system/local business do you recommend? A good dog with a loud bark. Honestly, Diane, the home security systems, no. I mean, if somebody's bent on getting into your house, that little toy of a system isn't going to do you any good. Some good cameras I would recommend. If you're concerned. so you can see what's going on, and hopefully you get some images of it, of the people. If you do use cameras, make sure you set up one of the web-based recording systems, and you subscribe to it so that it can save the images. Otherwise, they're just going to take the cameras down and walk off with it, and you're never going to see the image. The one place that people routinely miss to put a camera is watching where the utilities enter the house. Okay, specifically where your power and your internet connection enter the house. You want to have that being on motion detection all the time. Why? Because okay, yeah, yes, Lisa, you are right. We'll be in touch. So it was Lisa in Monarch Grove who guessed about me missing my dogs. Anyway, back to the security systems. That's a good question, though. Anybody who knows anything about the security systems knows that it's going to go across the internet. It needs power. So that's going to be the first thing they're going to do. They're going to walk over there with a pair of clippers or pop the power breaker. So if you do that, make sure the camera is, not reachable easily, so that they can't see it easily. And that's the one that's really probably the most important to you, because then you'll get them if they try and disable that particular aspect of it. It doesn't do any good to have any security system that relies on electricity or communications, because it's easily disabled. That's why a good dog with a loud bark. Bottom line, it's not worth the effort. You hear a dog barking, it's not worth the effort to go jump in the yard. All right, so Don asks, what are the drone rules? Basically, drone rules are 400 feet. Can't go over 400 feet. Got to maintain line of sight. You can't fly directly over people. You can't fly over a moving vehicle. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, East Coaster said, yep, stripper poles. That's what my thought was originally too, yes. Just curious, was the cruise less than 10K? Oh yeah, it was much less than 10K. I think it was, for that, we were in the retreat. I think it was right at 7.5 for an 8-day cruise. That was a little more, I know, than most people pay for a cruise, but we found it's definitely worth it. We figured it was a Christmas present. Don says, yep, probably so. All right. All right. So Tom R says, this is a good one, Tom. And I actually had something about this in one of my videos at Lake Denham when it was being built. So he says, in Well Point, there's a security camera on the street side at the corner of Corbin Trail and Sophie Street. Why is it there, and can we watch it live stream? No, you can't watch it live stream. Why it's there is it's to watch for thieves. Okay, people stealing lumber, people stealing appliances, and they have started placing them out in the construction areas. It's got to be for the last 3 years now, and I think it's a great idea. They're going to get you because sometimes theft is a problem. Yep, and VS says there's a camera on the corner of Bar and Marsh Bend Trail in Shady Brook. Yep, once again, they're looking to get thieves. Johnny Mac says, I was just going to ask if you know someone who installs cameras. I'll be honest with you. The cameras are really easy to install these days. They're very light, so they don't need a heavy-duty mount. The ones I use actually have they're magnetic. and it's got this magnet you attach with a couple of screws to the walls, and the camera goes up and it sticks to it, and you make the adjustments on it, and it's battery powered, and it's wireless communications to my network, and every time my dogs go outside, my phone rings or it chimes because it picks them up on motion. So they're easy to install. They're not hard to configure. Let's see. Maiko says, Don, I think you said before that the Secret Promise area was down there along 48 on road to Center Hill. Anyway, the water from the hurricane is still up close to the top of some pasture fences. Yeah, it is down there. I'm not sure. I haven't been down 48 since the hurricane, actually. I've been spending a lot more time farther south in the county because we really had some flooding because of the hurricane. But they addressed the drainage. I mean, if you were to look at the area south of not Barr, what's the other one? McNeil. No, not McNeil. I'll get it out. Bexley Trail. Okay, so Bexley Trail goes along the south side of Shallow Creek Country Club. On the south side of that, there was a lot of standing water. They addressed the drainage issues as they build. But that area down there along 48 is probably a decade away before worrying about too much about it. Michael says, so how much dirt will they need to bring in? Man, Mike, man, they move so much dirt here. It's mind-boggling. When you see these caravans of dump trucks, they're moving dirt, and they build up the low areas. All the homes are built up. It is amazing what they do. Mike B says, we got our Christmas miracle after 7 attempts. We finally won a lot in Water's Edge on the 23rd. Design meeting is February 10th. Congratulations, Mike. It is, it can be a challenge, but just you gotta keep pursuing it. I mean, it just takes a little bit of patience. Kyle Reed says, hi, Don. Sorry I'm late. Glad to be aboard. Okay, great. Yeah, I was planning on streaming on Sunday for the broadcast, and because they have Starlink on the ship now, and I was trying. I did a couple of test runs, and I was like, man, what is going on? So I ran a speed test. My downlink speed was 4 megabits per second. Uplink speed was 2 megabits per second, and that was the high. And I ran it probably a dozen times. So it just wasn't going to work. I had great plans. I was ready to do it. My laptop was all set up, and there was no way I could stream. If you remember the old Max Headroom TV show, just Google Max Headroom and you'll see how he talks, and that's what I would have sounded like. Let's see. All right. So Mike B says, let me blow the steam off the wine. No, that would have Bailey's in it if it was any alcohol in my coffee. Any insights or guesses on which grocery store will be opening in Middleton and Eastport? Last I heard was Walmart and Publix, respectively. Mike, I've heard about one store going in, and it is one of the two that you mentioned. And I think personally, I still don't have any solid confirmations But I think personally, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a Walmart neighborhood market in Middleton and a Publix in Eastport. Uh, don't hold my feet to the fire on that, folks, please. That's just based on what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing. We'll see what happens. Um, all right. I got some questions at the very beginning, but I'm going to answer a retired message um, real quick because this one really hits close to home. Um, so, uh, retired message says, Chief, would you tell me again who puts the chips on the driver's side of the car to open the gates when entering the villages? No, I'm not going to tell you that. And here's why. Because for 20 years I worked in the construction industry and my focus was security systems. I engineered numerous security systems for the Internal Revenue Service. I designed the security system in the FedEx Forum. I did the security system Broward County Courthouse a few years back before I retired. And they all use this kind of technology to be our customers went through great pains to not allow the duplicating of their cards, to be duplicating the chips in the proximity reader cards just goes against everything I worked with and worked for with my customers. So I can't support that. One of the individuals who does this wanted to advertise with me, and I said no, I'm not going to do it because I felt it was wrong. Honestly, you don't need that chip in your window. Okay, I drive an F-150. My wife drives a Honda Odyssey. Okay, just pull close to the card reader, hold your card up against the window, and it'll open in 9 out of the 10 gates. There's a couple where they have the power turned down low. There's been a lot of, I'll just call it misinformation. Some people might call it BS about systems going in. The bottom line is what's in that card, it transmits a number. Okay. If you clone it, it will work. Okay. As long as the number is identical. And there's some anywhere between 27 and 34 bits of data, a facility code, an issue level, checksums. There's all kinds of data in there, but they create a big number, a binary number. As long as that binary number is correct, you can clone it 10 times and it'll work on all 10 clones. And if they change systems, the system has to use that same data. So if they change systems, the card still works. All right. Sorry. It was. I enjoyed my work in security. I got taught to think to a very low level when doing security assessments for my customers. Basically, how to get in. That's why I know about things like we talked about the cameras for security, cameras for your house. You've got to think to the level of the perpetrator and how they're going to try and get around it. That's why you have the camera monitoring your electric and your communications. Let's see. Walter says, so, excuse me, why so much algae in water of ponds at McNeil and Marsh Bend? Every morning they look out, it seems to be getting worse. So McNeil and Marsh Bend. Okay, I gotta remember where the heck that is. McNeil and Marsh Bend. McNeil, all the way up at the north end. I don't know. I mean, they put the aerators in there to help keep the algae under control. If you have a house there, I would call the number on the village's website and ask them to come out and treat the pond. because of the algae growth. But I know the pond that you're talking about, yeah, and it is pretty bad. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, Walter, well point. I know the one you're talking about. It's up there by the new traffic circle that the county built. Um, uh, Walter says, "Are you talking about the one in Well Point?" Yes, that's the one we're talking about. VS. All right. So I need to stretch because I sat for 3.5 hours driving home, basically nonstop from the cruise ship, and now I'm sitting again for the last half hour. So I'm going to take a 30-second break and listen to my sponsor. We'll talk about my sponsor when I get back, and then we'll go back to some of the early questions. Welcome to Coral's Casual Patio and Fireplace, serving the villages since 1998. Come visit Coral's Casual's huge showroom in the Best Buy Plaza on US 441. Their wide variety of furniture will accommodate every lifestyle and fit every budget. Coral's Casual carries wicker, polywood, aluminum, and so much more. There's something here for everyone, and delivery is always free at Coral's Casual. Mention this ad and receive your 20% villagers discount. Come visit Coral's Casual in person or online. They look forward to seeing you soon. All right. Sorry. I had to stretch a little bit. I'm still a little stiff from sitting in the car all day. Anyway, you saw Coral's Casual. They're a patio furniture company, and they have some interior fixings in that. And sorry about the noise. The dogs are going nuts, so Debbie's giving them a treat. But they're a new sponsor. They got some great stuff. Amazingly, there is another place. You go down the turnpike to the same exit that you get off to go to Costco down there. And there's a patio furniture store right there at that intersection. And they sell the same stuff. And up at Core Casual, you get a 20% discount. And I got an email from the manager of the store. They have moved over to the plaza in Wildwood, where Save a Lot is at, and the post office is at, and the Mexican restaurant Las Magallas. They've opened up down there. So if you live in the southern part of the villages, it makes it a little bit more convenient. Oh, I know what's going on. Our dog sitter came by. She's picking up some of the things she left behind. And of course, the dogs are going nuts. Anyway, let's get back to the questions. Because Rich had a really good question at the very beginning of the show. Hello, Lily. Hello, baby. Come here. Come here. Let's see. Can you say hello? Come up here. Say hello. This is my Lily. Oh, hello, Sully. Yes, everybody knows you too. Okay. Let me get back to work here. Okay. So, Rich says, hi, Don. Hope you had a nice cruise. I did. I have a question about road maintenance. A YouTuber that lives in the villages posted a video indicating that road resurfacing is paid for by the CDD for courtyard and patio villas. He also indicated that for designer homes, the roads resurfacing is paid for by the county. Is that true? Or is this true? Yes and no. It depends on where you live. So we'll start up north. If you live in CDD4, which is the Marion County portion of the villages, the CDD is responsible for all the roads. Okay. Whether it's in a patio or a courtyard villa or a designer home section or a premier home. I don't know if they even have premiers up there. They may whether they have them or not, they own all the roads, which is pretty painful for them. That impacts their maintenance assessment quite a bit. Moving south, okay, in the unincorporated portions of Sumter County, okay, and that would be basically from 44 north. The CDDs are responsible for the maintenance in the patio and courtyard villas for the roads. And then the rest of the roads belong to the county for maintenance. and that is the reason for that is because the patio and courtyard villas have what's called an inverted crown. Okay, most roads have a crown, and then there's gutters along both sides. Um, with an inverted crown, it's lower in the middle, and the drains are in the street. And the county said no. Um, there is an exception to that for some county roads, and that's over in Coleman Ridge. That was part of the low housing agreement, but different topic. Okay, let's go back. Um, but if you're in a designer or premier neighborhood in north of 44, um, then that is the county's roads to maintain. And road maintenance, I will tell you, is a huge expense. I mean, and it's I mean, in the county budget, uh, the biggest priority is obviously public safety. So our sheriff's department and our fire departments are our biggest concerns. And then the next biggest item, in my opinion, that we have to take care of is our roads, and it is very challenging. Roads are very expensive to do. So now let's go south of 44. South of 44, the city of Wildwood is where all of that area is being built, and the city of Wildwood has the responsibility for maintenance of the roads in the patio villas, the courtyard villas, the veranda homes, the designer homes. There are no premier homes yet. Well, actually, there are some premier homes now down in Moultrie Creek and in Shady Brook and Water's Edge. They're building premier homes, but there's no premier neighborhoods. The newest one of that is the Enclave. So in that respect, Wildwood owns the roads, and they're responsible for the maintenance. So it's a complex process. When I was on CDD 10's board, I was the chairman for several years. One of the things that we started doing, because we know that after about 20 years, you got to resurface. So we started putting away in CDD 10. We looked at what we had for roads, what it cost to do a set of courtyard villas or patio villas. Hello, Lily. She's looking up here. And we said, well, we need to have about $2.5 million. So we started putting away between $200,000 and $300,000 a year into our road replacement fund or road maintenance fund. And that's continued on. The current chairman, John Miller, a good friend of mine, one of my neighbors, he's now the chairman, and he has pushed that issue through also. Again, roads are definitely a big issue, and maintaining them is challenging. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm concerned that the city of Wildwood, as I don't think they're putting enough away yet for long-term road maintenance. I think it's something that is hopefully not going to bite them in the butt, but I think it will. When these roads start coming due for maintenance, it's going to be an expensive challenge. Let's see. Kyle Reed says, you do great, Don, and your drone flying is going to be an issue after all the drone problems. Oh, is your drone flying going to be an issue after all the drone problems our country has been having? Kyle, honestly, this drone hysteria, it's not. I've watched a ton of videos. I've probably watched 2-3 hours worth of videos of the drones in New Jersey and other areas. And every one of them, I look at it and go, that's an airplane. And, it's obvious it's an airplane. Sometimes you can hear the jet engines or the propellers from the helicopters, yes, there have been a few drones in there, and, there are folks that, okay, let's just say they have a sense of humor, good, bad, or otherwise, that are going to go out there and taunt people in response to all this hysteria. But for me, it's not going to impact me unless the FAA comes in and puts down some new rules. It shouldn't impact me. For one, I don't like to fly at night. I have flown at night. I do fly at night on occasion. I don't like it because you can't see the trees. You can't see the power lines. It is nerve-wracking to fly at night, especially when you get, a couple of $1,000s in the air. You really curious or not wanting to lose it. Somebody said hello to Lily and Sully. Okay. Tom R says, does the water runoff from the grass, okay, with fertilizer, go into the sewers and then the ponds directly, promoting pond growth vegetation, or street storms get water treatment fill? No, Tom, it all goes straight to the retention ponds. That's the whole purpose of it, is to collect that. And that is why there is the aeration systems in the southern part of the villages. And they spend a tremendous amount of time and effort and money trying to keep the growth down. Mary Kay Moore says, hi, Don. We are coming down in February 2025 to put a bid in on a designer lot. Anything in your crystal ball about where they will be building in February or March? Hope for LaGrange or South Wellpoint. Mary Kay, if you're talking February, I think we're going to be looking at still Water's Edge, still some of, okay, what's the other water? Oh, Shady Brook. A little bit of Shady Brook, Water's Edge, and then I think, yes, on the south side of McNeil, they should be working there also. Let's see. Guessing Water's Edge will be sold by then. I don't know. It takes several months normally to sell out the last houses, but you're looking at a lot. If that's what you want, I'll say this: book a long stay. It may take you a few tries to get a water lot. It can be challenging because you and 50 of your closest friends want the same lot, so the computer picks it randomly. But anyway, let's see. But yeah, I think the south side of Water's Edge, and I don't think LaGrange, Oak Hollow is going to come first. They are moving in that direction now. In fact, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about today was they're building what's called now garden villas. It's a different floor plan. I'm going to do a flyover of them this week for the next video, 152, and I'll have some commentary. And I'm going to go talk to some friends of mine who are in the construction and get they're in the construction trades, and I'll get their take on what they're doing right now. Let's see. VS says villagers need to organize and get more influence in the Wildwood government. We, I believe, already are the majority in Wildwood population, and we are going to grow with that population. So yes, that is. I agree. We had a villager, Phil Mondavo. I think I got Phil's name right. He's a friend of mine. He lives in the village of London. He ran for city commission in the city of Wildwood and lost to Julian Green. And, we sat back and we scratched our heads, doing a post-mortem, trying to figure out what happened. And the problem is it's very much down ballot. So it means it's very low on the ballot, and people tend to get tired. It's also a nonpartisan race. Mr. Green is a Democrat and Phil is a Republican, but Green comes before Montalvo. So, and I think people just pick the first name on the list, and that's the only thing we can come up with, because it just we were stunned at the loss. There's a lot of us that are actively involved in politics in Sumter County, and we just that's the only thing we can come up with is people got lazy and took the first name. So right now, Commissioner Joe Elliott, a good friend of mine, is the only villager on the Wildwood City Commission, and the villages makes up about 75% of the city of Wildwood, and it makes up the majority of its tax base. And we have one villager representing us, so we definitely need some more influence in it. There's some seats coming up in 2 years. I certainly hope we get a full slate of villagers running for it. It's a thankless job, public office. It really is. Some of the comments you get and read are just mind-boggling. Some really clueless folks out there. Anyway, any opinion on Sky Elements accident in Orlando? Eb, I'm not familiar with that one. Got to remember, I've been out of the country and out of circulation for the last 8 days, so I'm not sure what's going on. But I'll look into it. And what do we ask me again next week, Eb? Denise says, Don, we don't have a lottery. We choose our lot in Lake. We didn't have a lottery. We choose our lot in Lake Denham. Why is our experience so different? Thanks for all you do. So Denise, if the lots were available and nobody had picked it up on opening day, then yeah, you walk up and you say, that's the lot I want. You pay the man, and it's yours. But as far as I know, for as long as I've known, I mean, I've been here 10 and a half years. When we got our first house, it was a courtyard villa, very nice one, on an oversized lot. And it was big enough for a pool, and I ended up putting in basically a 475 square foot of water pool and a huge bird cage, and love it to death. But we got lucky on the poll. We got it. And our realtor's wife, who called us and let us know we got it. But if you don't want it, she said, if you don't want it, there are 5 people on the wait list for it. So it's been going on like that for as long as I know. I'm not sure, Lake Denham, they opened up a lot of properties all at once. So that could be what it was. So Mike B says, dumb question. No, the only dumb question is the one that's not asked. So Mike, don't beat yourself. He says, will our property tax bill be based on the actual sale price of the home we have built or some other price? We will be in water's edge. I believe initially it's based on the sale value. Now, your first year, okay, so you're building a house this year, Mike, based on what you're saying. So your tax bill, when you get it, the trim notice is going to come out after the county commission decides on the budget. So this summer you'll get what's called a trim notice, and that will be based on the land value or the value of the property in January or at the beginning of 2025. So your first year property tax is going to be based on the undeveloped piece of property. It's not until a year later that your property tax will reflect the actual value. So the house that Debbie and I purchased in Moultrie Creek, the tax bill is very low this first year. Next year, and it's going to be a little bit higher, and it's going to have both Wildwood city taxes and county taxes. And it's going to be based on their current values. So, so it's based on the price, and then they take away for the land, then they take any exemptions you might have. So if you have a homestead exemption, you and your wife, if you're residents of the state of Florida, and that's your primary residence, you're eligible for a $25,000 a year adjustment per person in the homestead exemption, up to a maximum of $50,000. And I believe, I don't remember if they've changed the Constitution to allow that now, if I'm not mistaken, to be adjusted by the CPI. So if CPI goes up, it'll increase that exemption. That's what that's what you're looking at, and it really, really if you've got a mortgage, it really screws up your escrow account, because first off, when you take out the mortgage, the escrow account is based on what your taxes are for that year, so it's low. Well, then the next year you get your tax bill and it's real high, so they pay the taxes, but now your escrow is underfunded. So they got to raise it to make up for the new spending. Plus, that following year, they also have to raise it to compensate the bank for what they paid in the escrow to bring it back up to your minimum escrow balance. So then it's overfunded. So it's not until the next year that it gets adjusted down to the correct value. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Let's see. I heard there was a house explosion in Lynn Haven. Do you know what happened? No, that happened while I was gone. I saw it, online on a certain website. Yes, I actually read that on occasion. I don't know what happened. I did hear, though, that the individual who was injured did pass away, and that is sad and unfortunate. It just reminded me of something I wanted to talk about, and that was, if you've been following my videos, a month or so ago, I talked about a friend of mine who was injured in a bicycle accident, and he was in a coma. That was Ray Hereford. He lived in the village of St. Catharines. Ray was a really great guy. He was very generous towards our foundation in helping us fund it over the years, all the way back to our first fundraiser for the 100th video. He ended up moving down to Dabney, into the enclave. He got into a terrible accident. He passed away this past week. He will be greatly missed. He was the guy who organized the monthly social gathering where they had a band. I mean, I think they had Rocky there one time. They've had several of the bigger bands there, and Ray would pay for all this out of his own pocket, and they would raise money for charity. They raised over $20,000. Ray was a very, very great guy. I was honored to have known him, and I am greatly saddened by the loss, as are many of his friends, and he had a great many here in the villages. He believed in giving back to the community, and he did so with great joy, and he will be greatly missed. All right. Let's see. Lisa says, we love your videos. Thank you. Very helpful and informative. We're about to come for our third visit from Northeast Ohio, staying in Moultrie Creek this time. Excited. Thanks for all you do. God bless. Lisa and Jerry. Well, Lisa, give me a call when you get into town. I'm down at my wife's house in Moultrie Creek frequently. Meal hours. I got to get up to my apartment this evening and get settled back in. But yeah, uh, good luck. I hope you get successful. Yeah, yeah. Ray, like I said, losing Ray. I mean, I didn't just lose a friend. The villages as a community lost a great individual who really gave from the heart, uh, not just monetarily, but also in everything he did. He was an incredible individual. Anybody that lives over in St. Catharines that knew Ray knows exactly what I'm talking about. Great individual. Um, let's see. Oh yeah. So uh, one of the things I got to do on the cruise was I got caught up on some of my bookkeeping for my business. I take pictures of the houses under construction, and trying to end the year with a bang. So if you are, so let me explain what I do. I go to your house, if it's under construction. I take pictures of it 3 times a week. We do an aerial shot 3 times a week, weather permitting. Obviously, we don't fly when it's raining or whatever. I say 3 times a week. We only guarantee twice a week, just because if it's raining, we're not going to go out and trudge through the mud. We're not going to waste $1,000 camera to take a couple of pictures when there's nothing going on. But so normally it's twice a week, or excuse me, it's twice a week, but normally it's 3 times a week. Inside, outside, take pictures of the house. I look at all the pictures. I look at all the houses. I don't take all the pictures. I have a young man who works for me, Adam. He does a great job. He calls me when he sees things. I come out when he sees things. I also try and make it to every house at least once a week, and do a walkthrough of it to see what's going on and see the status of construction. And if we see something, we let you know. If you see something in the pictures, you call me, we talk about it. I'll go back out, take some more pictures. I'll give you some advice, give you some direction if you need it. I can't intercede with the builder, but I can give you some good advice. So I have 2 different packages. My basic package is everything's shared with you on a daily basis on a file share system. And then I have my deluxe package, where we also put together a very pleasant YouTube video with custom music and some titling for your house. We do this every week for you as a summary, and it is makes a lot of people jealous. Friends and family are going, "Well, you're building this great house." Well, it's like, sorry, you come visit, but visitors are like fish. After 3 days, they all start to stink. It's time to get rid of them, throw them out of the house. But anyway, to try and end the year with a bang, I'm offering 15% off your package if you contact me between now and before the next episode of Gold Wingnut Live, which would be Sunday, January 5th at 3 p.m. So anytime now, go to my website, goldwingnut.com. Let me bring it up. This is how we pay the bills, folks. I gotta get back to here. So go right here at this link right here. It says Home Construction Video Packages. Click on that. There's a full description of what we do, the price list. Fill out this form. Send it to me. I'll give you a call. We'll talk about it. And I'll give you 15% off between now and the next show. That is the biggest discount I have ever offered. I'm still trying to evaluate whether my pricing is right. So far, the initial review of the book says yes, it is. But, we got to cover our costs. It's not a charity. There's another individual whose background is photography, who's trying to copy what I'm doing, says he goes every day and charges less. He's going to lose money. Anyway. But anyway, if you're interested, reach out to me and we'll get you going. Let's see. Ray's good friend, definitely lost for everyone in the villages. So that was Jerry Harris. She says, yeah, we love Ray and his girlfriend. A definite loss for everybody in the villages. This is from VS. Don and Alex do a great job with filming your home under construction. I highly recommend the premium package with YouTube. Well, thank you, VS. I appreciate that. Mike B says, we will be signing up for this service after our design meeting in February. Mike, do this. I will honor the price if you fill out the form, send it to me, and we'll get you on the schedule, and we'll hold off on the final invoicing until after your design meeting so you know what the home size is and any other particulars. We can talk about it. Kyle says, yep, Don, Fish is right. Let's see, Walter S. says, Don, have you heard of a builder by the name of Ryan McCabe? He was our builder. So I know Ryan. I've met him once, many years ago when I was first starting my videos. He was in charge of construction here in the villages, Ryan, and he called me to his office and wanted to speak to me about my videos. I felt like I was back in high school getting called to the vice principal's office again. We had a long discussion. The district manager was there at the time also. We had an agreement. I honored the agreement, but it was never enough for them. I finally, after they filed a complaint against me with the FAA, I had to do some rethinking, and my opinion finally came down to I will fly what is legal, and that's all there is to it. And that's where I stand to this date. But Ryan, I didn't know he was back working as a builder. I thought he was higher up in management than that. But the builders, as I understand it, they're not really the builder. They're the construction manager, because they all work for the villages. I'm not 100% clear on their whole structure, but that's the way I understand it. But interesting question. Let's see. So we talked about the 15% off. If you send me the request between now and January 5th, and we'll work from there. The district government does have a new website. Let me go back to that right there. Okay, so the district government's website now looks like this. And so it's changed since the layout. This is Kenny Blocker here. He's the district manager, great guy, good friend of mine. And there's lots of different areas you can go to. Services, you want to pay your utility bill, all kinds of good information. If you've been like me, I've been looking at the website for the last 10 years. I knew where everything was. I have no idea where anything is now on this website. So I'm still relearning it. All right. Go back to that one. So, wow, we got any more questions? Okay, no more questions at this point. So if you are driving around and if you're going down Central Parkway, all right, now you know Central Parkway ends just a little before the county line as you're heading to the east. And you basically go in the traffic circle and you take the first exit and you head south, and then it curves around to the left. It's on a 2-lane road, and that is temporary 470. When you get to the traffic circle and you start heading south, look straight ahead. You'll see a building being built. That's fire station number 49. It's under construction. I pointed out in my video 151 when it came out last week. And when I went by there after picking up Debbie on the way to the cruise last week, I saw it. They had just started on doing some walls, and now they got bunches of walls up. You can see the framing for the base for the truck. So that's coming along very quickly. slowed down a little bit because of some budget issues, but that's a topic for a different day. Um, let's see. What else did I have here? So, Costco. From what I understand, there was a big announcement in the paper. I got a stack of newspapers this high that my dog sitter, Tracy, great lady. She took good care of Sadie Sully and Lily. But she saved all the newspapers, so I'm gonna take them with me tonight. And I'm gonna try and read through them all. I read the paper every morning with a cup of coffee, and it's definitely something I've always enjoyed doing. But anyway, I've heard that the village has finally made an announcement. You guys, if you were here a month ago on my show, 4 weeks ago, I said, hey, the permitting's all been approved. It's been approved since last month. They just now finally came out and made a public announcement. Good for them. So it is coming. It is coming to the location next to Hobby Lobby on 466. Again, we went down to Costco for the first time in probably a decade, and we went through it. And honestly, I didn't see much difference between it and Sam's Club. Okay, I will say one thing. We bought some chicken breasts. They packaged theirs 2 or 3 to a package. Nice big meaty chicken breasts, and there's like 6 of them all packaged together like this, and you cut them apart, and then you can freeze them. And that was very convenient. Normally, we would take and use the vacuum sealer and bag them up. So that made life a little bit simpler. But other than that, I really don't see much difference between it and Costco and BJ's Wholesale Club and any of the other warehouse clubs. They're pretty much all the same. They do have some good deals on appliances, better than most. But beyond that, just another big box store. Sorry, I don't need a gallon of ketchup. Anyway, let's see. Other questions. Costco, we talked about that. Again, the worst part of the cruise was, again, missing my dogs. And I was surprised somebody got it so quick, but anyway, okay, wait a minute here. So David, you're late to the show. I'm not sure what's going on. But because Lisa beat you to it by quite a bit. My guess is that David was watching the show delayed and missed it. Sorry about that. So Lisa up in Monarch Grove actually won the $25 gift card. But so one of the things you might notice on the screen, the upper left-hand corner, excuse me, the upper left-hand corner of the screen, there's a little watermark that keeps changing, and that's the charities that some of the profits from my show go to. I finally got to a point where I was making a profit after covering all my costs, and it's time to give back. So I give to Wounded Warriors, I give to Tunnel Tower Foundation, and a new one, Paws of War. This one hit me really hard the other day when I saw it on. I was watching, I think it was Fox and Friends, and they reunite the soldiers with the animals that they meet when they're deployed in the war zones, and they help bring the animals back and reunite them because people get attached to the animals, and it tugged at my heartstrings quite a bit. So I now make a monthly donation to each of these, and I'm looking at adding 2 more. Still trying to narrow it down, just because it's the thing to do. These charities are doing a good thing. All right, so oh my gosh, it's already 10 after 4. So we've spent our hour. I want to thank you all for joining. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. You know, my wife was very pleased with what Santa Claus brought her. We said no gifts. She brought me a few small gifts, and she was not expecting what she got. I got her some diamond earrings to go with a ring that I got her last year. So she was very, very pleased. But time to start work on video number 152. There were some interesting comments on 151. Some folks, well, if you read the comments, you'll see my responses to some of them, and they didn't take it kindly. Well, you know what? If you want to complain about everything here, why are you here? Okay, yeah, it's not perfect, but it's a pretty good community, and I'll leave it at that. Let's not dwell on the negative so much. Again, I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I hope everybody has a fantastic New Year's. I'm not sure what we're doing for New Year's this year. I'll know when I'm told. I'm a good husband. I know what to do when I'm told. But other than that, we'll be back next week at 3 o'clock, and I will start work on video number 152. A lot of good things happening since 151 came out. Of course, my wife is getting on me about pay attention to where you're driving, because I was looking at everything as we were coming down the road to see what was going on. But anyway, thank you all once again for joining in. And we will do this again next week. Send me your questions to live@goldwingnut. Send them to me in advance. I'll be ready to answer them, especially if you throw some zingers at me. But I try to give you good information. Until next week, I wish everyone the best. And thank you very much for watching. I'm Don Wiley. Have a great day. Welcome to Coral's Casual Patio and Fireplace, serving the villages since 1998. Come visit Coral's Casual's huge showroom in the Best Buy Plaza on US 441. Their wide variety of furniture will accommodate every lifestyle and fit every budget. Coral's Casual carries wicker, polywood, aluminum, and so much more. There's something here for everyone, and delivery is always free at Coral's Casual. Mention this ad and receive your 20% Villagers discount. Come visit Coral's Casual in person or online. They look forward to seeing you soon.